Today, I decided to share with you the 7 essential books of my personal library. They all talk about a topic related to game creation, be it drawing, animation, game design. There's even a book about instrumentation actually. You can find links to each and every one of them in the description below. Book number 1, How to Draw from Scott Robertson and Thomas Bertling. How to Draw is a guide dedicated to everything that revolves around perspective and construction. Its content is impressive. It covers numerous drawing techniques and offers interesting insights on concept design. Although it tries to target beginners and professionals alike, to me, it will fit students or professionals more so than real beginners in the world of drawing. The techniques it presents are extremely useful, but the content is dense and takes a lot of practice to adapt to. Anyway, this book is truly inspiring and worth the money. Book number 2, The Animator's Survival Kit by Richard Williams. This is the guide of reference as far as animation is concerned. We could even call it the traditional animator's Bible. It is filled with examples, techniques, and analysis of a great variety of movements. It even offers a detailed summary of the advice delivered in each section. Although it's a rich book, it doesn't spend too much time talking about the 12 fundamental principles of animation. Thus, to get the most out of it, you will have to know your animation basics for one, and have decent drawing skills already. This book is also available as an iOS app with animated examples, link in the description. Book number 3, Color and Light, a guide for the realist painter from James Gurney. Color and Light talks about painting, color, light and form in a lovely format. Every double page illustrates a new specific concept, be it the behavior of a candle's light, the principle of form, or local colors, for example. Color and Light is one of those books that you can open anytime, at any page to discover or rediscover a fundamental painting concept. None of its content feels superfluous, and as you have understood by now, I warmly recommend it. Book number 4, Warrior, a visual history of the fighting man. Warrior is a history book. It narrates the evolution of the soldier throughout ages and civilizations using both text and pictures. It is a reference book, but in the literal sense this time. It details the outfit, the weaponry and customs of armies. From the Roman legion to modern special forces, Zulu warriors to samurais, Warrior feels quite exhaustive. It is a big and a good-looking book. Did I mention that it also talks about war tactics, vehicles, and even architecture at times? A good addition to your game designer's library for sure. Let us jump onto game design with a book that I already mentioned in my 8 best game design resources. Number 5 is The Art of Game Design by Jesse Schell. This book offers a series of lenses to rethink our creations in numerous concrete ways. The Art of Game Design is probably the most comprehensive book about the tricks of the trade available out there. It impresses by its depth, but also its simplicity and clarity. It manages to always stay relevant to the real activity of a professional game designers. And you do not have to read it in chronological order from start to finish. You can actually jump to any chapter or lens to get a quick refresher on some game design concepts. It is not like there is absolutely no critiques to formulate on some of the content, but The Art of Game Design shares so many relevant insights on the table that it is worth every single penny at least twice. Book number 6, Emotions Revealed by Paul Ekman. Having some notions of psychology is part of the base skill set for a game designer. As a human being, it is always useful to better understand oneself, to better understand the behaviors of others as well. It is especially handy inside of a team when we are working for a client, etc. As designers, we also have to apprehend the needs of our players in order to properly design our games. Emotions Revealed is not a book that I'd recommend for the lightness of its prose. However, Paul Ekman remains one of the most influential world experts when it comes to emotions. If you want to write richer and more believable characters, or if you simply want to draw more subtle facial expressions, this book will give you food for thought. And we are going to wrap up the list with a book dedicated to music. Number 7, The Essential Dictionary of Orchestration. This small book has a lot to offer, even though it's pretty small. It is not really a dictionary actually, it summarizes the main characteristics of all sorts of instruments. From flutes to synthesizers, percussions to brass, it encompasses about everything that you could encounter in an orchestra. For each instrument, it gives you both a practical writing range and the range of a professional player. On top of that, it describes the qualities of each instrument's sound and playing techniques. All that in a very condensed, easy-to-read format. It is a must-have for anyone who wants to score for movies or games. That's it for this video. You'll notice that all 7 books cover a different domain. I tried to pick the resources that offer the most condensed information. I prefer to focus on a few books and dig them again and again, because they have a lot to offer. Far more than we can retain in a single read actually. And as game designers, we have a lot to learn about design, programming, art, communication, writing. So I think it's more efficient not to spread ourselves too thin with too many learning resources. Anyway, if you like the video, don't hesitate to become a subscriber. That way you will be notified whenever I release a new tutorial. Do you have a question or a suggestion for a future video? Do not hesitate to leave a comment. Thank you kindly for watching. Be creative, have fun. Until next time.